Hi everyone, my name is Kaustubh Kale. So there are six important points that you should ensure are there in your plan, or certain points that should be avoided and should not be a part of your plan. Okay. So basically ensure that these 6 points are covered well and you are taking the benefit from it. So if you already have a health insurance plan, whenever your renewal is due, if these points are not there, then you can port, that is, you can change the health insurance product and company. Or if you're buying a fresh plan for the first time, that ensure that these 6 points are well covered. Okay, let's begin. First point is no co-payment. And what does co-payment mean? At any given point of time, a certain percentage, maybe 10%, 20% of your bill, of your claim, of your hospital bill, may be forced that आपको ये pay करना है, that you have to pay the insurance policy holder. Okay, so why is this a problem? Say if you are 30 right now, your product should not have a clause that at the age of 50 or 55 या उसके बाद कोई भी claim आएगा ना, तो उसका 10 या 20% आपको pay करना होगा. ये पॉइंट उसमें नहीं होना चाहिए प्रेफरेबली. ओके, मोस्ट मॉडर्न प्लान्स डोंट have this, so ensure it's not there, because what will happen is then when you need the plan most, you will end up paying 10 to 20% of the bill amount from your pocket. Should not be there. So your plan should not have any kind of co-payment, whether right now as soon as you take the plan or in future. The second point is no room rent limit, and hence there should not be any proportionate deduction. So you should be at least allowed to take at least a single private room, or anything above that, even a suite room if your plan allows you. And there should not be any room rent capping. Now let's understand why this is important. Okay, because there is no proportionate deduction also. Then let's say that your plan allows you to take a room which has a cost of, for example, only up to 10,000 per night. Okay, for example, only up to 10,000 per night. You actually take up a room because that is the only room available, or because you want to feel more comfortable, of a room which is costing 15,000 per night. Now in this case, what happens, at the end, whenever you go to pay the bill, every other expense that is there in the bill will be reduced by 50% or so. Okay, because आपने ऐसा रूम चूज किया जो 50% हायर कॉस्ट का था. सो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी बाकी के सब बिल के एक्सपेंसेस लाइन आइटम में से 50% हटा देगी और वो आपको पे करना होगा, which is called as proportionate deduction. So because you took a room, because your plan had a room rent capping, you end up paying maybe 10 to 20, 30, 40%, 50% of the bill because of this point. So ensure that your plan does not have a room rent capping. At least a single private room, or even in some cases suite room, should be permitted. Point 3, there should not be any disease wise or illness wise sublimit. Now what does this mean? Say if I have a plan of 25 lakh, okay, but I want to do a cataract operation. Now the policy says that I can only do a cataract operation of up to 50,000 or 1 lakh. That should not be there in the policy, because मेरे को जितने भी अमाउंट का कैटरैक्ट ऑपरेशन करना है, whether it is 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 25 lakhs, up to my sum insured, I should be allowed to use that money for any kind of disease or illness, and it should not have a disease wise, illness wise sublimit. Okay, point 3, very important point. Point 4 is waiting period should be favorable. There's a concept called as pre-existing diseases in a health insurance plan. Say for example, if someone has diabetes, before he buys the plan, there is a chance that the company will tell you that we will cover hospitalizations related to diabetes after 3 years or 4 years are completed or 2 years are completed, which is called as the waiting period. Now waiting period should be favorable to you as much as possible. What it means is that वेटिंग पीरियड कम से कम होना चाहिए और ज्यादा से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. सो इंश्योर योर वेटिंग पीरियड्स आर इन द प्लान इज लेस इफ यू हैव अ प्री एग्जिस्टिंग डिजीज. Point 5 is restoration benefit for same as well as unrelated illness. Say if someone has a 25 lakh plan, sum insured, okay, he gets a critical illness, and this 25 lakhs, or rather 22 lakhs is entirely used in one bill. Okay, now this happens, he gets discharged, and say after 3 months he has an accident. Okay, जिसके लिए खर्चा 12 लाख आता है, ये कंपनी ना 12 लाख भी दे देगा because of the recharge or restoration benefit. Now what does this mean? At any given point of time, okay, your claim amount obviously cannot be more than the sum insured, but if you get discharged and the claim amount is obviously less than the sum insured, then they recharge the plan, or rather they restore the entire sum insured, so that you can use it in future in the same year again for same as well as unrelated illness. So ensure that this is there in your plan. It is very important in case there are critical illnesses where there can be prolonged hospitalizations, in case of accidents where there can be recurring prolonged hospitalizations. So this is important to be ensured, whether same or unrelated illnesses, and if there is any cooling off period, take care of that as well. Now, point six, the last point is non-medical expenses, disposables. During COVID, a lot of these expenses, whether it is gloves, whether it is PPE kits, whether it is cotton, etc., hospitals used to charge them to you, and a lot of these companies used to not pay it because it was not covered in the plan. And then obviously companies have started covering it after IRDA regulations, etc. So it's important that your plan, whether through a rider or inbuilt, should cover these non-medical expenses or disposables. So that is why it is ensure that you buy a plan which has non-medical expenses disposable cover. नहीं तो फिर क्या होगा पता है, end में of the bill you will end up paying 10 to 20% from your pocket. So it's better. Now this is also an important slide for you to understand that why you should not rely on your employer cover. If you are a corporate employee and your employer may be covering it, firstly it will be an insufficient cover. It's not a very massive cover. Secondly, because they have to give it at a mass level to many employees, the product quality is not very good, as you see here. Okay, so for example, it may have disease wise sublimit, it will 100% have a room rent capping, it will maybe not have restoration benefit, it will not cover non-medical expenses. So what will happen is, while you are thinking that your employer is covering you, and if you get a critical illness or an accident which has a huge claim, you may end up paying 10 to 50 or even 60-70% of the cost from your pocket, because like I said, health insurance cover given by your employer is insufficient. It is not sufficient for a critical illness or an accident. And because of such features not being there, whether it is a disease wise sublimit in the plan, room rent capping in the plan, or non-medical expenses not being covered, or no restoration benefit, you might just end up paying expenses from your pocket. So it is better that you take your own plan. So we'll quickly see all those 6 points once again. There should not be any co-payment clause in the plan. There should not be any room rent limit. There should not be any disease-wise or illness-wise sublimit. The waiting period should be favorable to you, जितना कम से कम हो सके. Restoration benefit for both same as well as unrelated illnesses should be there in the plan for unlimited times. And the last point is non-medical expenses disposable should be covered. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope this was useful. Thank you.